Success is the best payback. And I don't mean success in a shallow look at me now kind of way. I mean real success. The kind that changes your life so profoundly that the people who hurt you no longer even matter. The kind of success where you wake up every morning filled with purpose, where you feel so fulfilled and empowered that the thought of revenge doesn't even cross your mind. Think about it. When someone betrays you, disrespects you, or tries to break you, they expect a reaction. They expect you to lash out, to be consumed by the pain, to stay stuck in the mess they created. They want to believe that their actions had power over you. But the moment you decide to shift your focus away from them and toward your own growth, you take back control. You break free from their grip. So how do you turn your pain into success? First, you have to stop waiting for an apology. Stop waiting for them to acknowledge what they did, to feel sorry, to make it right. Because let's be real, most of the time, that apology is never coming. And even if it does, it won't undo the damage. Your healing can't be dependent on them. It has to come from within. You have to take that pain and turn it into fuel. Every time you feel that anger rise up, every time you replay the situation in your head, use that energy to build something. Work on yourself. If you've been feeling stuck, now is the time to push forward. If you've been neglecting your goals, now is the time to chase them with everything you have. Let the pain remind you of what you deserve. Let it push you towards something bigger than them. Success isn't just about making more money, driving a nicer car, or showing off on social media. It's about becoming unshakable. It's about walking into any room with confidence, knowing that nobody, not them, not anyone, has the power to break you again. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. And here's the thing, when you start leveling up, they will notice. Maybe they'll hear about your success through mutual friends. Maybe they'll see you glowing, thriving, and completely unbothered. And that moment will hit them harder than any words you could ever say. Because nothing makes people regret losing you more than seeing you become the person they never thought you'd be. But here's the catch. You don't do this for them. You don't build your life out of spite. You do it because you owe it to yourself. Because you deserve to be happy, to be successful, to be free from the weight of their action. The best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's proving to yourself that their actions didn't define you. So the next time you feel the urge to react, to engage, to prove a point, remind yourself of this. The only way to truly win is to build a life so incredible that their presence or absence no longer affects you. Focus on your growth, your goals, your happiness, because when you reach that level, you won't even need revenge. You'll have already won. Silence is one of the most powerful responses you can give to someone who has hurt you. It's counterintuitive because when we're wronged, our natural instinct is to react, to defend ourselves, to make sure they know how much they've hurt us. But let me tell you something. Your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. When you stop engaging, when you refuse to react, you take away their power. You see, people who hurt you often thrive on your reaction. They want to see you upset. They want to know they still have a grip on your emotions. And the moment you lash out, argue, or try to prove a point, you're playing right into their hands. But when you choose silence, you're making a statement. A statement that says, you no longer have control over me. Silence forces them to wonder what's going on in your mind. It forces them to question their own importance in your life. And let me tell you, nothing haunts a person more than being ignored by someone they expected to react. They may try to provoke you further, push your buttons, or even spread lies just to get a reaction out of you. But when you hold your ground, when you refuse to engage, you become untouchable. You have to remember that reacting emotionally gives them a sense of power over you. It means that they still have influence over your thoughts and feelings. But when you withdraw that attention, you strip them of that power. You become a mystery. They start questioning if they ever really mattered to you. They start wondering if they miscalculated your strength. And the longer you stay silent, the more they feel the weight of their own actions. People expect drama, They expect a reaction. But when you deny them that satisfaction, you disrupt the entire cycle. You shift the power dynamic. Instead of being the person who is chasing, arguing, and proving, you become the person who is moving forward, unbothered, and in control. And that is a position of ultimate strength. But let's be clear, silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence doesn't mean you're tolerating disrespect. Silence means you're choosing peace over chaos. You're choosing to invest your energy into yourself rather than into someone who doesn't deserve it. It's a conscious decision to say, I refuse to give you another second of my time. And that's a powerful decision. You may think that speaking up, arguing, or calling them out will bring closure, but true closure doesn't come from confrontation. True closure comes when you no longer feel the need to explain, defend, or justify yourself. It comes when you realize that their opinion, their guilt, or their regret is not your responsibility. And here's what happens next. When you stay silent and focus on yourself, you naturally start to rise. You begin to heal. You start investing in your goals, your growth, and your happiness. And while they're still caught up in their toxic cycle, you're already steps ahead, building a life that no longer includes them. And then one day they'll look back and realize what they lost. They'll see the person they took for granted becoming stronger, more successful, and completely uninterested in their existence. And that's when the regret sets in. That's when there's a moment in life when someone will break your trust, hurt you, and make you feel like you're not enough. And your first instinct, you want to fight back. You want to show them that they can't walk all over you. You want them to feel the same pain you felt. But listen to me, real revenge isn't about hurting them back. It's about making sure they have no hold over you anymore. You see, when you focus on retaliation, you're still giving them power over your mind, your emotions, your life. They're still controlling your energy. And that's the last thing you want. The best revenge, it's not screaming at them, exposing them, or wishing for their downfall. It's leveling up so much that they become irrelevant in your story. The desire for revenge is natural when someone hurts you. You want to show them that you are not weak, that they cannot get away with treating you unfairly. But here's the truth. Revenge is not about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your future. And the way to do that is not by sinking to their level, but by rising above it. When you make your revenge about them, you are still giving them control over your life. Every thought, every action, every emotion that you direct toward them means they still occupy space in your mind. They still have influence over you. And that's exactly what you need to break free from, because the longer you hold on to anger and the need for payback, the longer they keep a hold on you. You don't owe them your energy. You owe it to yourself to move forward. Let me tell you something. The most powerful people in the world don't waste their time plotting revenge. They invest in themselves. They focus on their growth, their success, and their happiness. Because when you're thriving, when you're building something great, when you are genuinely at peace, you automatically put those who hurt you in their place. They expect you to stay stuck in pain. They expect you to dwell on what happened. But when you don't, when you channel all of that energy into something productive, that's when you truly win. You have to decide what matters more, holding on to resentment or building a future that makes you proud. Do you really want to let them keep you locked in the past? Do you want to waste your time looking for ways to get back at them while they continue living their life? Or do you want to turn this pain into something powerful? Because here's the thing, the best revenge is not proving anything to them. It's proving to yourself that you are stronger than the hurt, that you are bigger than the betrayal, that no one, not them, not anyone, can take away your ability to rise again. There's a shift that happens when you realize this. You stop needing closure. You stop needing an apology. You stop waiting for them to see your worth. Instead, you start creating a life that is so fulfilling, so incredible, that their actions don't even matter anymore. You reach a point where you look back and laugh at the thought of ever giving them so much power over your emotion. And do you know what happens when you do that? When you focus on your own growth and healing instead of revenge, they feel it, they notice, because nothing haunts people more than watching someone they underestimated become unstoppable. Nothing makes them reflect on their actions more than seeing you completely unbothered by them. That's the kind of revenge that actually works, the kind where you don't have to lift a finger, say a word, or do anything to prove yourself. Your success, your peace, your happiness, that is the loudest response you could ever give. So let them go. Let them watch from the sidelines as you build the life they never thought you could. Let them see what happens when you stop looking back and start moving forward with everything you've got. Because at the end of the day, revenge is not about hurting them. It's about healing yourself. And when you do that, you win every single time. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have. And yet so many people waste it on anger, resentment, and bitterness toward those who have hurt them. Think about it. How many hours have you spent replaying the situation in your mind? How many times have you imagined a confrontation, a comeback, a way to make them feel the pain they caused you? But let me ask you this. What has that done for you? Has it made you stronger? Has it made you happier? Or has it kept you stuck in a cycle of pain that they don't even know you're in? Every second you spend thinking about them, analyzing their actions, and hoping for their downfall is energy that could have been invested in your growth. It could have been poured into your goals, your peace, your future. But instead, you're holding on to the pain, carrying it like a weight that only slows you down. And for what? To prove a point to someone who has already shown you they don't deserve space in your life? You have to realize that the energy you give to anger and revenge doesn't hurt them. It hurts you. It keeps you emotionally tied to the person who hurt you. It keeps the wound open, never allowing it to heal. And the worst part, they're not even affected by it. They've moved on. They're living their life while you're stuck reliving the pain they caused. That's why the real revenge isn't about hurting them back. It's about reclaiming your energy and using it to become the person they never expected you to be. Think about the people you admire, the ones who have overcome adversity, who have turned their pain into power. Do you think they got there by holding on to resentment? No. They got there by shifting their focus, by refusing to let their pain define them, by choosing to redirect their energy into something meaningful, something that makes them stronger instead of bitter. The truth is, you cannot control what other people do. You cannot force someone to apologize. You cannot make them feel regret, but you can control what you do with the pain. You can control whether you let it break you or build you. And that choice, that's where your power lies. So what if instead of feeding the anger, you fed your ambition? What if you use that energy to level up, to transform yourself, to build a life so incredible that their betrayal becomes nothing more than a lesson in your story? What if every time you felt the urge to dwell on the past, you took that energy and poured it into your future? Because here's what happens when you stop wasting your energy on resentment. You free yourself. You let go of the burden that's been holding you back. You create space for peace, for joy, for the things that truly matter. And without even realizing it, you win. Not because you destroyed them, not because you got revenge, but because you refused to let their actions dictate your life. Because you took back your power. Because you chose to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past. And one day, when they see you thriving, when they realize that they no longer have any hold over you, that's when it will hit them. That's when they will have to sit with the reality of what they lost. But by then, you won't even care, because you'll be too busy living a life they can't touch. And that's the most powerful revenge of all. Your healing is their karma. It's not about revenge in the way most people think of it. It's not about making them suffer, exposing their wrongs, or waiting for them to apologize. No, the real payback is you deciding that their actions no longer have power over you, that the pain they caused no longer controls your life. The real victory is healing so completely that you no longer care if they regret what they did. There's a shift that happens when you take your power back. In the beginning, the hurt feels heavy. It lingers in your mind, replaying like a bad movie. You analyze every moment, every word, every betrayal, trying to make sense of it. But there comes a moment when you have to decide, do I keep carrying this weight or do I set it down and walk away? Because that's the choice. You can let their actions define you, or you can use them as fuel to rebuild yourself. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It means accepting the pain, processing it, and then refusing to let it dictate your future. It's choosing to move forward even when it's hard. It's waking up every day and choosing to put yourself first. Not them, not their guilt, not their regrets, just you. And here's what they don't realize. When you heal, when you truly move on, they lose. The person who hurt you, manipulated you, or betrayed you, they expected you to stay broken. They expected you to keep chasing closure, to keep looking back, to keep holding on to the past. But when you rise above it, when you build a life so full of peace and happiness that their name doesn't even cross your mind anymore, that's when karma does its job. Because here's the truth about karma. It's not about punishment. It's about balance. The energy people put out always comes back to them whether they see it immediately or not. The lies, the manipulation, the pain they inflicted, it doesn't just disappear. It follows them. It manifests in their own relationships, in their own struggles, in their own regrets. But the moment you heal, the moment you detach, that's the moment they have to face it on their own. No distraction, no excuses, just the reality of their choices. You don't have to seek revenge. Life will handle that for you. You just have to make sure you're not standing in the way of your own growth. Because every second spent hating them, resenting them, or wishing for their downfall is a second stolen from your own future. And that's not a price you should be willing to pay. So instead of looking back, look forward. Instead of focusing on what they did, focus on what you can do. Instead of waiting for karma to act, become your own version of karma. Show them that you were never weak, that you were never broken beyond repair, that their actions didn't define you. Because one day they will see the person you've become and they will realize exactly what they lost. And by then, you won't even care because you'll be too busy living the life they thought they could take from you. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, and start investing in yourself, you shift the power dynamic entirely. When you make yourself the priority, something incredible happens. You no longer need their validation, their apology, or their attention. And that's when they start to feel the weight of their own actions. Because here's what people don't understand. The most painful thing for someone who tried to hurt you is realizing they never truly mattered in your journey. Think about this. When you keep engaging with someone who disrespected you, when you keep replaying the pain, you're keeping them in your life. You're allowing them to live in your mind rent-free. But the second you step back, the moment you say, I'm done, and truly mean it, they lose control over you. And when they lose control, they start to panic. Because people expect a reaction. They expect you to argue, to beg, to explain yourself. When you don't give them that, it forces them to face themselves. This is where the regret starts to sink in. At first, they might not even notice. They might think they won. But as time passes, they start to wonder why you're not affected, why you're not reaching out, why you're not chasing them. That silence speaks volumes. Because deep down, people want to feel important. They want to feel like they had an impact on your life. When you show them that they didn't, that's when it stings. And it's not just about ignoring them. It's about shifting your entire energy towards yourself. It's about leveling up in every way, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. It's about becoming the version of yourself that they never expected you to become. Because the real power move isn't proving them wrong. It's proving to yourself that they never had the power to break you in the first place. When you start pouring your energy into your goals, your passions, your happiness, you create a life so fulfilling that their absence becomes irrelevant. You wake up one day and realize that they were just a small chapter in your story, not the whole book. And that realization, that's what changes everything. Because by then, you don't even need revenge. You don't need to see them suffer. You don't need to hear their apology. You've outgrown the pain. And that is what will make them regret everything. There will be a moment when they look at you and realize what they lost. They will remember how much you cared, how much you gave, how much you showed up for them. And they will feel the absence of that. But by the time they realize, it will be too late, because you won't be looking back. You won't be waiting for closure. You will have moved so far ahead that their opinion, their presence, their regret will mean absolutely nothing to you. That's the power of stepping back. That's the power of choosing yourself. Because at the end of the day, the greatest revenge isn't making them suffer. It's making yourself so strong, so happy, so successful that their actions no longer have any impact on you. That is when you truly win. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood concepts in life. Many people believe that forgiving someone means excusing their behavior, allowing them back into your life, or pretending that the pain never happened. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. It's about taking back control over your own emotions, your own mind, and your own future. Because as long as you hold on to resentment, you're still giving them power over you. Think about it. Every time you replay what happened, every time you feel anger rise inside you, every time you wish you could make them feel the pain they caused, you are still tied to them. They might not even be thinking about you, but here you are carrying the weight of what they did. And that weight is holding you back from the peace and happiness you deserve. But here's the real power move. Choosing to forgive without waiting for an apology. You don't need their remorse. You don't need them to acknowledge what they did. Because the truth is, some people will never admit they were wrong. Some people will never change. But that doesn't mean you have to suffer for the rest of your life. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's not saying it's okay. It's saying, I refuse to let this control me anymore. It's deciding that your peace is worth more than holding on to anger. It's realizing that by letting go, you're setting yourself free. Because when you hold on to resentment, you are the one in chains. They may have hurt you once, but every time you dwell on it, you're allowing that pain to continue. And that stops today. The moment you truly forgive, something shifts inside you. The weight lifts, the anger loses its grip, you start to feel lighter, freer, and suddenly, they don't matter anymore. Their power over you fades. And that is when you win. But let's be clear, just because you forgive doesn't mean you forget. It doesn't mean you give them another chance to hurt you. Forgiveness is about emotional freedom, not blind trust. You can forgive someone and still choose to walk away. You can let go of the anger without letting them back in. And this is where people get it wrong. They think forgiveness means reconnect. They think it means giving someone endless chances. But the smartest thing you can do is forgive and move forward without them. You can heal without revisiting the past. You can release resentment without reopening the door. Because the truth is, some people don't deserve access to you. They lost that right when they showed you who they really are. And while you don't have to hold on to hatred, you also don't have to invite them back in. You can choose peace without choosing them. And here's the beautiful part. When you truly forgive, you become untouchable. People can no longer manipulate you through your past. They can no longer trigger you with their words. They can no longer control your emotions. Because you've taken your power back. That's the real secret of forgiveness. It's not about making them feel better. It's about making yourself feel lighter. It's about clearing space in your mind for better things. It's about proving to yourself that you are stronger than what happened to you. So today, make the choice. Choose freedom over resentment. Choose peace over bitterness. Choose yourself over the past. And watch how your life transforms when you finally release what was never yours to carry. The ultimate form of revenge you can take on those who have wronged you is not in your actions or words, but in your ability to find peace and happiness despite the hurt they caused. People who harm us often want to see us suffer, to see us falter, to watch as we break. They want us to feel the sting of their actions every day, and they believe that by doing so, they will remain in control. But here's where you regain the power. The most effective way to get back at them is not to give them the satisfaction of seeing you suffer. It is to be at peace, to find happiness in your own life despite their attempts to bring you down. Imagine waking up every day with the confidence that the hurt they caused can't touch you. Picture yourself going about your life, smiling, accomplishing your goals, surrounded by positivity. That peace of mind, that feeling of being unshakable in your own well-being is a weapon far more potent than anything you could ever say or do in retaliation. It's a weapon they will never see coming, because when they hurt you, they expected you to react in anger, to let your emotions spiral out of control. They wanted to provoke you, to keep you mentally and emotionally engaged with them, because that is where their power over you lies. But what if you just didn't engage? What if you let them go on with their lives, unable to affect yours? What if you stood firm in the belief that no one, no matter what they say or do, has the ability to steal your peace? That's how you win. That's how you take control back. The beauty of peace is that it's yours to hold. It doesn't depend on anyone else's actions or opinions. It's a choice that you make every single day. You decide that nothing they do will derail you. Nothing they say will cause you to stumble. Your peace becomes a fortress they cannot breach. While they may try to provoke you or trigger your emotions, you can simply choose not to react. And in doing so, you show them that they no longer have a hold on you. This is incredibly powerful because deep down, people who hurt others are often looking for validation or a response. They want to know that their actions have made a difference, that they've left a mark on you. When you refuse to let them, when you show them that their behavior doesn't affect you, you strip them of that power. You take away the control they thought they had over you. But the beauty of this kind of revenge lies in the fact that it's not just about showing them that they have no hold on you. It's about taking your energy, your focus, and your time and investing them in something far more meaningful. It's about focusing on your own growth, your own well-being, your own happiness. The energy that you would have used to fume or retaliate is now being channeled into positive actions, things that will uplift you, things that will help you move forward. And as you grow and evolve, you become the kind of person they wish they had never crossed. They become a mere memory, a distant thought, and the pain they caused you fades away, replaced by the joy of your own transformation. And this peace, this strength that you find within yourself becomes something they can't take from you. The more you rise above, the more you show them that their actions don't define your life, the more you create a life they can never be a part of. They may have thought they could break you, but they were wrong. They may have thought they could get the last word, but they didn't. Instead, you're living your life, growing stronger with each passing day, unaffected by the things that once hurt you. Your happiness, your peace, and your success become the final blow to the harm they tried to cause. And the greatest part is that you never had to lift a finger. You never had to stoop to their level. All you had to do was let go. Let go of the resentment, let go of the anger, and let go of the need to get even. And as you do that, you free yourself from their control. You free yourself from the past. You free yourself to move forward with your life. So when someone hurts you, don't waste another moment of your precious energy thinking about how to get back at them. Instead, focus on how you can move forward, how you can grow, how you can take this as an opportunity to become even stronger. Because in the end, the best revenge isn't something you do. It's the life you build for yourself, the happiness you find, the peace you cultivate. And that is something they will never be able to take from you.